Dan, 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 dan. Dan, 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 dan. And we are back. This is the Lakers Fast Break podcast. And you are here with Joe Soro and soon to be Mark from Australia, aka Xbox. What's the rest of the words on Xbox?
Well, I've changed it to Xbox Game Studios, but Happy Australia Day is the new version of
Australia Day, and a happy day for the Lakers. Their third win in a row. Not only their third win in a row, their third double-digit win in a row. Now, I know Washington isn't that good, and Boston's not that good, but Boston was that good. So you gotta give props to where props is due.
Hell
and
yeah.
the Lakers end up winning tonight, folks, against the. I just they might as well just call themselves the San Francisco Warriors again, don't you think?
They're struggling.
Golden State Warriors, and the Lakers win 118-108. And another game where I'm going to have a hard time trying to find something wrong here with this team. So we're going to delve in, though, and we're going to talk about some good stuff. Not a lot of bad. This was Jared Vanderbilt's first game back from injury, and it looked like a good one, and it looked like the right game to come back to. Warriors kind of made a game of it pretty much the first three quarters, and then I had a pretty good feeling that the Lakers were going to go on a run here and take it pretty much to the end, and they did exactly that. Props to Max Christie. He stuck on to Steph for a good amount of that time, and Steph had an absolutely horrible second half. He was 0 of 8 and scored no points in the second half. So again, congratulations to the Lakers. Third win in a row in double digits, 118-108. I guess the player of the game, geez, who do you pick? Do you pick LeBron with 25 and 12? Do you pick Anthony Davis with 36 and 13 and 3 blocks and 3 steals? Do you pick Austin Reeves? Do you pick Max Christie? Do you pick Dalton Connect? I don't know, but I don't care. As long as we win, anybody can have the accolades. So at this point, the Lakers seem to be going on a little bit of a run here. Now, what we're going to need them to do is we're going to need them to do this at least 3 more times to meet our criteria for the road trip, which means if they can come out of this road trip 4-2, it'll be a success. Anything better, obviously, would be huge. The next game that they play will be against Charlotte on Monday, and then they'll be playing a back-to-back the next day against Philly, which Philly's been kind of playing a little bit better. Paul George's been playing decent. I don't know what the makeup of the roster is going to be by Tuesday. Those things change. I was going to say something, but I'll keep it PG tonight. Drawers, underwear, for some of you. And then after Philly, we're going to see Washington again for the last time. And then the next 2 games after that are going to be the ones that we're going to have to see if they can muster enough energy to beat New York at Madison Square Garden, and then on their way back to LA playing the Clippers again into it. So, Mark, we did a lot of joking today on playback.
We did.
Spoke outside the realms of basketball. So we're going to stick to basketball tonight, but you can throw in a little bit of Australian history, dingoes, kangaroos, babies, Tropic Thunder, all that stuff. Go ahead and throw that in. It is your day. It is your country's day. So you have my permission to do all that. But first, let's discuss Sean's hairdo and goatee that all of a sudden turned yellow or blonde or whatever that is. No, I'm just kidding. No, your assessment of tonight's game. What would you say was the key here to this game and seeing how the Lakers' chemistry was it seemed to be on again for 48 minutes?
Well,
Oh, Sean or
Is your
myself?
name Mark, Sean?
I didn't hear the name.
Goes in order of who arrived. So
We'll
Sean
get
is
to you
last.
later, buddy.
You
But
look
just
like you're in the
quickly,
South Pole.
we're all gonna obviously have a turn, but yeah, for me, as you guys know, I've been pretty savage on AD over the last few weeks, and man, I got to give him his props. It's a big reason we won tonight. Obviously his box score, and there's a few different thoughts on who should be player of the game in the chat, but for me, it was definitely AD. LeBron's obviously had a good game, but yeah, when you get 35 odd points and you've got double-digit rebounds, you completely dominated old mate Post. So Postman Pat or whatever he wants to be called. So I'm happy with AD tonight, really happy. But then you can start going down the list as well. Man, we had some great contributions here. Like you said before, Joe Christie, his game on Steph was awesome and something that Gerald was calling for in the first quarter. So kudos to Max. He also had some timely shots. Vando, like Sean pointed out during playback, Vando in the third and probably early fourth had some really good moments too. Shout out to him. DFS started for the first time, played well. Dalton made good shots. Gabe did his thing. So, nah, man, these are danger games. You can come in here, and we've seen it with this team before. They can get complacent. Warriors will beat teams at home, and they have. Like, they got smashed by Boston, and then they just lost to the Kings. So, they can be competitive at times, but the job that Christie did on Curry in the second half was impressive. And the last three games have been great. And the way they're playing ball, man, it's what we want to see. And we're fifth spot now, guys. 25 wins and 18 losses. I mean, I'm not sure any of us had them in that sort of position. So it's going to be interesting in a few weeks. Are we going to do something to help the team? Or is this team going to be enough? As we all think, probably not. But getting Vando back and stuff tonight obviously helped AD. So shout out to the boys, man. Australia Day, Lakers won over GWS. What more do you want?
Good point. Good point. Again, we're cruising right now, man, and I think my feelings on the fact that they've taken it upon their own accord to finally play a full game and play full games, 3 games in a row, and yeah, it makes a difference, guys. Now I know we're gonna have a lot of people out of the woodwork coming out here and going, "Hey, you see, guys, you guys are all hating and hating and hating." Guys, slow down. Slow down. The Lakers, I know, beat Boston, but they also beat Washington and Golden State. Let's see how this goes. We're going to stay positive. We're going to hope. They're still going to play Charlotte next. Phillies might be a good test. Going to play Washington again. And then the game really is going to be the New York game. If they do what they did the last 3 games to New York, and then maybe win a close one against the Clippers on the way back, hey, now you guys can start throwing tomatoes at us. And yeah. I'd say that's the thing. And then we're going to be like, what are we going to do then? Are we going to retire? Go away? No. We're going to stay here and we're going to eat it in a good way. In a good way. I want to be wrong. You all know this. We want to be wrong. We want the Lakers to win a championship more than anybody. So keep the thing going, Lakers. Keep this energy going. Keep playing this way. And believe me, you're going to see a lot more positive than you see negative. So we'll go from there. And again, for those of you who came here late that hadn't watched the game, the Lakers beat the Golden State Warriors 118-108 in San Francisco. A road game win to start this road trip. Always a good thing when you win on the road, especially for a team that's been struggling on the road. They can make up some good ground here should they win the majority of these road games. So, Zachary, you got your fan on still?
I don't believe I do. Can you guys hear it?
Oh, yeah, I could hear it. I heard it. I could hear it in Bangladesh. But since you'll be speaking, it'll be easier to kind of mute it out. So, Zachary, for those of you who haven't seen Zachary before, Zachary is new to the group. He does like to talk, and he does like to, conversate with what's going on in the current standings with the Lakers. So, Zachary, what's your assessment now with the Lakers? Are you going to be like some of the patrons on our chat room where as soon as the Lakers win a game, all of a sudden we're winning the championship? Or are you kind of steady and going, let's just keep it going, but let's keep our expectations realistic?
More of the second one, like basically like just take it one game at a time, because we're far from winning the championship. We have to get past Denver, which have Jokic. We have to get past Oklahoma City, and if we make the championship, we probably have to get past Boston again. And more than likely, if we play Boston in the championship game, then they're not going to do what they did against us. They're going to be playing to win their 19th championship and have 19 championships versus us 17 or 18 if you want to count the NBA in-season tournament. So basically, take it slow and go from there.
Yeah, no, we don't count the in-season tournament as a title. However, you could count the NBL title in 1947 for those of you who are historians like Sean and I. And since that's a perfect segue to whatever the hell Sean is eating, what is that? Lucky Charms? You want us to wait for you to finish and swallowing, Sean? How long did it take you to dye that beard? Sean, welcome back after a week's hiatus?
It's not my name.
Your name's not Sean.
Look at the name.
Hold on.
Look at the name.
Oh, I'm not buying it. Your name is Sean. Sean, give us your expertise here. Are we now starting to get into that area where maybe the Lakers might be? Because Tim Legler talked about this, and that's one of the few guys left at ESPN that I actually respect.
Yeah,
he said even before this game, he's like, "Hey guys, Lakers might be a threat." What do you think? Do you think that we're jumping the gun here, or are the Lakers really going to focus the rest of the way? Because if they're focused like this, even if they lose, guys, even if they lose games, it's okay. They're going to lose games, but we want them playing 48 minutes. Can they do this? Can they play like this the rest of the year?
I think this group has a threshold. You add to it, then I think you may be seeing a team that could contend. But as is, yeah, but what's a threat really? And I agree with Legs, and I agree with what your assessment of his analysis as well. So I agree. So a threat, like your threat to me, a threat means you can maybe win a series or two, and then you probably max out and you play a team that's maybe a little bit more balanced than you are, has more talent. Like if the Lakers played OKC, would you favor the Lakers?
Well, here's the thing. Here's my assessment on this. What's hurt the Lakers the last two playoff series that they've lost?
Rebounding.
Okay. So the trade deadline is coming. And you have a chip now. You saw that the Lakers, I'm not trying to dog on Rui. Rui might be the only guy that you can trade because of his salary to get something back that you really, really need. So my interpretation of what happened tonight is they're going to have to use Rui in a trade to get a big. At least he might not be like a rebounding savant, but someone that can at least box out and create room, create his own area to where it's not going to be as easy. That right there will probably make a difference. I don't know who, Valanciunas, those guys up in Toronto, Olynyk, something, right? So right now, I'm starting to get a feeling, especially if Gabe Vincent's going to start hitting his shots like this, and if DFS is going to start hitting his shot like this, and if, God for God hoping that Connect's gotten out of his rookie wall a little bit, which it looks like he has. If he starts hitting those shots, then shot making might not be as much of a concern. Again, it's only been a few games here, but if they muster this,
I just like there. So I'm looking at. I just look at two big red alarm stats right now. One is you still have a negative point differential, even though you're 25 and 18. You still have I'd have to look back, but I think it's been a while since a team won 25 of their first 45 games, had a negative point differential. We're in a top 5 seed. So they're finding a way to win games, which is great. That being said, you're also bottom 5 in terms of rebounding. You're a terrible rebounding team. And I don't think that's sustainable for success over 82 games, Joe.
I can't argue against that. Again, they're still 1.2 in the negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's like thinking we could be favorites against OKC? I don't. Where's that? I know, people talk about matchups and stuff. People saying we match up well against Memphis and that, but their team's playing better right now. Like just on the eye test, for me, we're not the favorites against OKC, man.
The only
something.
of the young team, I agree. I agree, Mark. I would say this though: of the young teams, the only one that I really think would give the Lakers a hard time would be Houston.
Fair.
Here's how I'm going to play this out. That's a good question. That's a good question, Mark. Let me answer that real quick. We don't know what's going to happen right now. We have to wait. There's still half a season left. Anything can happen between now and the end of the year. I'm going to look at this in one way. Right now, if they play like this during the road trip, which is going to give us a week and some change before the deadline comes, if they play like this without Rui, now you have something you can trade. Rui only has another year on his contract left. That's a big asset that you can trade. And then if you've got to go get somebody for a few draft picks or a heavily protected first, you got to now get a big that can help you. Bless you.
You can use Vincent's contract as well because he'd be expiring next year.
The thing is, if he's going to start making shots, we need guard play that can make shots. See, that's the thing. That's the negative and the positives kind of together at this point. We're like, okay, well, do we now showcase these guys to trade them?
See, here's the deal. What kind of a center do you want? Do you want tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3? Because they're all available for you.
I think they're going to have.
Do you want you also have to think about who's the best guy that's available that we could get that you could put beside AD. So who does AD fit best with of this group? Would you put AD beside Vooch and decide?
Bro,
no.
I'd love that, Sean. I don't know why, man, but Vooch can score, bro. Having another elite scorer who's a big.
Yeah,
I don't know if we've ever seen that with AD.
Okay,
other than Cousins back in the day.
Do you think Vooch is a better positional scheme than say putting JV beside him? Because I think I'd rather have Vooch beside AD than Valanciunas.
The problem with that is you're going to have to give up more to get V.
Yeah, gotcha.
JV makes the less of these three guys. Of the three guys who are available, Turner, Valanciunas, and Vooch. Turner makes the most, Vooch makes the second, and then JV is the basically bargain of the three. Because he's almost making Vooch is almost making a double what JV's making.
Honestly, I feel like
and Miles,
take any of them
if you trade for Miles Turner, he wants $30 million a year.
Yeah, that's I don't know how we get that
I still
done.
don't
That's
think
obviously
Pritchard
two
will
players.
do anything. Yeah, Pritchard will still not do anything to help the Lakers. I have to see that.
Well, see, it's not, that likely will not happen. I'm just bringing it up because somebody will get him. They're not going to. He's not just going to let him rot on their salary cap.
Let me answer our esteemed chat room questionnaire person, who's Robert. Where's Robert Wheeler's question? Hold on, let me get it for him real quick, Sean. 1 second. Rodell. Nah, I'm not going to pay attention to Rodell today. Let's see.
Hit the like chat.
Where the hell did it go? Man, you guys have been talking a lot here. Hold on 1 second, guys. Where the hell is? Oh, there. No, that's not it. Alan, I'll get to you as well, buddy. Hold on 1 second. Where the hell did it go? Oh, there it goes. Okay. So, Sean, I'm going to move you up here real quick. There you go. Joe, when you watched this game, did you feel like the Lakers played so comfortable offensively like Denver does to us? I never felt at any point in this game that the Lakers were going to lose. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even when they were neck and neck, I'm like, and we talked about this, they're going to somehow bust out at some point. I thought it'd be closer to the beginning of the second half, but then it happened later, which I don't give a damn as long as you do it. So yeah, there was no doubt at all during the game that the Lakers were going to win this. I was definitely with that.
Yeah, you said that the whole time, and you managed to calm me down a bit because I wasn't feeling that
Well,
way.
I gotta be honest. I'm kind of liking this kind of new Mark, kind of coming out of his shell. It's not necessarily. I don't think it's new Mark. I think it's comfortable Mark. Mark. For those of you who don't know Mark is very respectful, very engaging, which is something I'm never gonna be. So when you hear Mark kind of get a little, I guess psycho. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to see that. I like seeing nice guys go psycho. It kind of makes me feel good about myself.
Join me for a Barca game.
Okay, so Alanist had another question. Let me move you guys up so I don't block Sean's face. I would trade Hayes, Rui, and a first pick for Kessler and Sexton. Then I will trade Connect, JHS, Gabe for Bruce Brown. Lakers then go 10 deep. First of all, the first one, Danny Ainge would rather jump off the highest mountain in Utah before he'd give you that trade. And then the second one, and absolutely not. No, I would not do that trade. Sorry, Alanist. I don't want to have anything to do with Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown is a contract player. He had a contract year, played out of his mind, and he's been shit since. So no, thank you. Yeah. I'm not going to trade Connect for Bruce Brown. If you want to trade JHS, Gabe, and maybe somebody else, I don't know. Who can you trade? Who's not playing right now? That's right. Revenge guy.
Are you really banking on, because you've watched Bruce Brown play all of like 8 games so far, that you're going to acquire him and he's going to become the Bruce Brown that he was 2 years ago? I don't think so.
No, I don't want him anywhere near the team.
It's It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me, these efforts that people make to convince themselves that even one of their favorite players or a great athlete is somehow better because they're 2 years older. That's like, these Instagram models who are, 36, 37, and you ask them, are you going to look the same in 10 years? Oh, yeah, I'm still going to be beautiful. Really?
I love Instagram models.
You're not going to be that beautiful in 10 years, Tommy.
I like real life models.
You don't like all those filters,
and Bruce, like, and I will.
They work.
I'm just saying though, like, you have to look at it realistically. I'm not trading any of the Lakers' viable options for a player like Bruce Brown or Miles Bridges. You can get the French toast out of here with those ideas because they're not happening. And we gonna have to look at realistic options right now. because
Well, let's.
everybody's excited. This is the caveman.
Yes, that's
the caveman discovered fire all of a sudden.
for sure. And again,
Yeah.
you should be excited because winning does that, and that's what you're supposed to do. Now, Mark brought up
Yeah,
something.
let's not go nuts.
I'm actually, you know what, Mark? Let me get Zach in here. Zach has some things to say. Zach, where are you? Did you turn off the Winnebago behind you?
Why are you wearing a zip up that far? What are you in South Pole with the Penguins?
Okay,
What?
Zach. Seriously, Zach, what are you concocting a science experiment over there? Like, what's going on?
Wait, right now, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, I know. We can. Sean tends to be the ringleader of these things sometimes, and we just have to accept it. We're second and third. There's and you're fourth. There's just nothing we can do about it. So,
what did you think tonight, Zach? Did you? Zach's the internal optimist.
Yeah. So,
like
Zach, you've been kind of hinting at some positiveness, which behind the scenes I've been talking a lot of smack about you because of it. So now that I've admitted it, tell us why you knew positiveness was in the air, like whatever's behind you.
I just been a positive person. That's all I can say.
Oh, you're a positive person. So that's why he's on the show, guys. You're probably wondering, who the heck is this new guy here? What is he doing here? Guys, you guys are asking for it without actually asking, right? Because I've been noticing it. People are like, Joe, what about this? Joe, what about that? God, guys, can you think about some positiveness? Well, guys, we literally brought you positiveness on the show. So here you are. You have an ally. So if the Lakers lose the next 4 games, we now have Zach here to kind of therapeutically help you with the positiveness. Now,
yeah, that's a big if we lose those next 4 games.
Right. I don't believe we will, but I'm just saying if. However, back to the regular show of negatives, maybe a little bit. So let's talk about what you wanted to talk about, Mark. You had mentioned something during the game towards the end there about Steph Curry.
Yeah, man.
Wow. I was paying attention to what the Lakers were doing. I'll be honest. I was not paying attention at the least about Steph Curry, and that's usually how I roll. I usually don't pay attention to the opposing team. If I watched again the second time, I will. But tonight, I didn't give 2 craps about Golden State. But what happened to Steph? 0 for 8 in the second half? What's the deal there? What's your assessment on why that happened?
I don't know, man. There's something wrong there. Like the press conferences that he's done lately, I don't know if he's torn between leaving the team or staying, because he can see that, he's just not going to be competitive the last couple of years of his career. Steph, like we said on playback, I mean, it doesn't make sense, obviously, guys, for Steph to demand a trade to go win a chip. It doesn't seem like that's in his nature either. But I don't know. Is he looking at the team going now, I had 2 or 3 years left in the tank. Now he's only got 1 maybe because there's no future there. I just don't know. Like, what's happened here is you've got a player like LeBron James that, is his contemporary, and he's playing so well at 40. You've got guys like KD who's playing very well at the similar age to Steph. But Steph's a very athletic type player, and so is LeBron in that, but he's obviously not of the same athletic, prowess as LeBron. He's a freak athlete, Steph, but in a different way. And could his progression slow down a lot quicker? Like, he's 37, man. We sort of talking about older players because of how well LeBron is doing at this age, but typically players don't last this long. And I know some of the older boys in the league, Westbrooks and Hardens and stuff, sort of elongating their careers. But for me, where's Steph at? You wouldn't have questioned at the Olympics that Steph was going to play another 3 years. You see performances like tonight and other games that he's put in where the stat line is it's shocking, man. And it's got to be a combination of there's only him in that team. So, he's never really been able to carry the load. But just my sort of question, I guess, to yourself and Sean is, will Steph play for another 3 seasons? Will he get to where LeBron is right now? I don't know, man. I'm seriously questioning. He doesn't look like someone that's going to hold on for the sake of holding on. So I'm looking at him and the team right now. I've watched a lot of Steph, man. You know, sadly, since, you know, I've been really, really into basketball, you know, his team's been right up there. So I've seen a lot of his career, and it looks like there's a bit of an issue there. And I don't know, man. I'll go to you, Sean, first. You know, like I said, at the Olympics, I would not have questioned that he would have been around for another 3 or maybe 4 seasons. But you see him play tonight. You see how bad the team is. Very funny press conferences by Steph over the last few weeks too and month. What do you think there? Is he on a? Where's he going? Will he demand a trade or will he retire in a couple of years and just ride it out? What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I think he's just gonna play it out, Mark. I think he signed that 1 year, $62 million extension. I think that's it. I think he's gonna retire in 2 years.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, yeah.
And
fine.
then
To retire a Warrior.
then yeah, he's gonna retire a Warrior.
It's just, yeah, and that's obviously maybe shorter than what he
So
thought. He might have.
see,
Yeah.
it's a matter it's a matter of both historical practicality and perspective. He needs to retire a Warrior. The same reason
Yeah.
that Kobe needed to retire a Laker. It's the same reason Tim Duncan only played for the Spurs. It rarely happens that you get a jewel like that and they stay in your franchise for more than 15 years. You know, you get 20 years out of Duncan, you get 20 years out of Kobe. I think Steph wants to get to that same summit where you talk about guys who've stayed the same place their whole career.
It's not many.
It's only a handful of guys you could really say did that.
I have a comment
on the level of greatness.
I have a comment on that, but I'm going to go to Zach real quick. Zach, how old are you?
22.
You're 22. Okay, so you've been around
22 years.
How did you become a Laker fan?
Probably Kobe, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Okay, so Kobe got you in.
Yeah.
So how did your fandom change when Kobe retired?
What do you mean fandom? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, so Kobe wasn't the end-all be-all. A lot of people did that, right? A lot of people said, I'm done with the Lakers after Kobe retired. Why did you stick around? We don't get a lot of 22-year-olds in here.
Just probably kept believing in them and was always wondering, like, will I ever get to, like, experience a championship? Because when we won in 2010, I was 8 or 7, and I do not remember it.
So you weren't invested in that yet. You were too young. I understand that, but did you enjoy the 2020? Did you feel good? Okay, so we're looking at this next run or whatever this is. And by the way, thank you, Mission, for the super chat. My job here is to make sure that you are respected because you're one of my favorites on here, by the way. I'm trying to keep my head at a level here. I don't want to go crazy yet. I think this road trip can be a nice little maybe glimpse if they come out of it with a good record. Mm-hmm. And then the real interesting part's going to be that last week. What happens? The Lakers absolutely, no matter what, need a big. They have to get a big. If they do not get a big, based off what you were telling me, Mark and Sean, they're going to have a problem with rebounding, and they need somebody that can take up some space at the very least. Even if they're not a rebounding machine, they got to at least be able to take up some space so that they can box out. And I saw a lot of good boxing out tonight, by the way, guys. they're boxing everyone out tonight. I know it's a little easier with a small team like Golden State, but it doesn't matter. You got to just keep doing that, and no matter what. And I'm kind of. There's a different energy the last 3 games that I hadn't seen all year. Am I just making this up in my head?
Nah, man. Nah, the way they're playing, Joe, like I was savage a couple weeks ago. I was on here last week. It's probably the first time I've been on in 7 days. I was asking for AD trades. I was losing my mind. So sorry if it's super inconsistent, chat. But yeah, you come 3 games later and you feel completely different. And now I'm thinking, obviously AD is not a problem. And how can we maybe turn Rui into something that supports AD? So they've played really well the last 3 games. We should have beaten 2 of the teams. But man, the other, and JJ, I don't know, has he gone away and done a little sabbatical? I don't know, he's got a pedicure or something, or he's in a good space because man, he's coaching well. He seems to be making the right rotations. And yeah, so I don't know, man. These last 3 games, there's enough there, Joe, that suggests that we can be competitive, man. And if we can make this trade that you're talking about, well, man, I don't know. Like we've said it before, LeBron and their timeline's not, he's not 20, he's 40. They've got to do everything to win now. I'm not saying trade. I'm not just talking about trade. I'm talking about the players and their way they're playing and the desperation. LeBron, if he wants to win 5 or 6 chips, he's got to start now. He's got to get going now. He can't do this mentality where he switches off, rocks up in finals, blah, blah, blah. Team just needs to keep playing well and get really well positioned, something we haven't had for years. So if we get a 4th or 3rd spot, who knows? You never know. Okay, like I said before, I don't see us as favorites against Memphis, OKC. I still think they're better squads. But in a given series, man, we can do anything. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if they can make that trade that we're talking about, one of those boys we keep talking about, I don't know about Miles Turner. That sounds like way too much coin for me. But one of those other, European guys might be a really nice mix with AD.
Sean, you brought up a statistic that's gotten me swirled up right now, and it's a very important statistic. These are the kind of identifiers, much like WAR in baseball. WAR has become, in a lot of ways, the number 1 statistic in baseball. It's no longer, does he hit 30 home runs? Does he hit 40 home runs? That's actually not really the number 1 spot anymore. It used to be, because things were more simple, right? With statistics in baseball. Point differential. I'm going to take a wild guess here that no team has ever won an NBA championship with a negative point differential.
Never.
So that's not working too well right now. What are the Lakers going to have to do to get out of that rut? I mean, you're talking about half the season and they're doing this. I don't really know what answer to that. I don't know what they can do other than maybe just become more efficient on offense.
Yes, and try and limit how badly you're curb stomped, because it seems like you're winning a lot of close games, but you're losing games that get out of hand very quickly.
There have been times, weren't they up there and losing by double digits or something? Wasn't that kind of what the situation was? So
blowing 4th quarter leads.
I'm trying to think what would be.
We've had a couple blowouts early in 4th quarters. The first 3 to 4 minutes where, an 8-point lead is gone and now you're down by 6 or 10.
The Lakers are not really playing a tough schedule until the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
We're a month away, right? So as soon as they get done with Portland on February 20th, the next games are Denver in Denver, Dallas at home, Minnesota at home, and then back-to-back games against the Clippers at home. And that one actually has a good amount of games in between. and then they got New Orleans, then they got New York, and then they got to go to Boston. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're talking about an 8-game stretch between February 22nd and March 8th. That might be the stretch that will tell you who this team is. That's probably going to be the week and a half.
Okay. To put it in perspective, Joe, the point differential stat over the last 25 years, what was the most dominating NBA Finals matchup you have seen? And if you're not gonna say the 2013-2014 Spurs, I don't know what to tell you.
Wait, what was your question?
Wasn't it the Warriors though? They didn't even lose a game one of those with KD. They lost one game.
Yeah, but the point differential point differential was monumental in 2013, 2014.
Gotcha.
Mark, the Spurs were a plus 70 in that series.
Whoa. That was close.
What was your question? What was the comment? Sorry.
Far out.
I said, just think about it. Of the most dominating teams of the past 25 years in an NBA Finals matchup, what couple images come to mind? To me, it's that ball not hitting the floor with Manu Ginobili, Boris Diaw, Tim Duncan, Gary Forbes. Like we're talking. So I mean, like it really doesn't matter who you have out on the court, Joe. If you have a system that works, you could just fit guys in and out. And right now, we need a couple more pieces to actually have the pieces fit. Because look, I really do enjoy watching Vando's defense, but his one bucket was right at the rim. That's pretty much where he's going to get most of his action, because unlike Rui, he can actually make lob and alley-oop dunks. But he's terrible outside of that offensively, Joe. So you need like you said, you need another big, because the lineup that the Lakers had tonight that was really good was actually a 3-guard lineup. It was Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent, Max Christie, and then you had Vando at the 4 and AD at the 5. They held the Warriors without a field goal for about, I don't know how long. Felt like 4 or 5 minutes. It's probably shorter than that, but that's how long it felt. And I mean, with all due respect, you're not going to expect Gabe Vincent to shoot like this. It's at best it's in spurts, and it's intermittent spurts too. So, I mean, if you have Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt out on the floor in the playoffs, it's going to be a problem offensively, Joe. It's going to be a serious problem. You're going to have to.
There's no doubt that 14 Spurs team was the most methodical machine of an offensive juggernaut that I've seen in a very, very long time. And the reason why that's better than the 17 Warriors run is because of the competition. That 17 team and 18 Cleveland team, they were okay. They weren't that good. That Miami team was still, I know LeBron came up lame a little bit, and everyone said Dwayne Wade was kind of on the downhill. But
they're still in their prime.
They're still in their prime. I'm sorry, I'm not going to. They were in their prime. I don't care. They got to the finals. They're in their prime. They should have won that series because LeBron is supposed to be the best ever, right?
Did they go 28-0? Was that season, Joe, where they had that they had a real big win streak during the regular season?
2013 is when they won 27 in a row.
Sorry, 27. Okay.
Yeah, and really, with all honesty, when I look at the 2013, and this is what 2013 birthed the Spurs 2014 team. So when I talk to people about the Spurs, I try to, again, throw in some psychology on this. It's very important to understand the psychology of the athlete, the coaches, what a negative can make a person. The negative can make you a maniacal psychopath that takes you to a different level. Certain players can play angry, right? A lot of a lot of players can't, but the great ones play very well angry because they go and tap into something in there and it takes them somewhere else. If 2013 doesn't happen, and it was several things that happened in 2013. Number one, Manu Ginobili played terribly in that series. Terrible. Matter of fact, I was like, dude, this guy needs to retire. This is what he's going to do. The other thing is Popovich made crucial mistakes in Game 6, taking Duncan out during that last run, allowing Bosch to get the rebound, to throw it to Ray Allen. If that play does not happen, the Spurs win that series. And sure, it's easy to say, oh, they would have played amazing the following year. We'll never know this, but I believe because Popovich knew he screwed up bad in that series and Manu was terrible, that it made them into they went into that offseason going
maniacal.
Yes. There's no way you're going to convince me that it wasn't that, because I had never I thought the 03 Spurs were the best team. I mean, you had Duncan in his prime. You still had Duncan. You still had Robinson with a little bit left, but he was such a huge help. You had Tony Parker. You had Manu kind of coming into their own.
Was Horry with them at that stage?
Horry was with them in 05.
Oh, okay.
So you have that team, and I'm like, yes, 03, that's their team. No, 14, they turned into machines. The best offensively run team I think I've ever seen. Honestly,
in the playoffs, for sure, yeah.
For the playoffs,
even better than the Warriors. I'm sorry, the Warriors fans. It was even greater than them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to our man here, Zach. Zach, what things did you see in the game that we haven't brought up yet? Is there something happening here in your eyes? Are the Lakers finally sort of getting it? And are they going to, I guess, continue the momentum through the trade deadline? And are they going to likely get something? Where do you stand on that?
Oh, I just wanted to say, like, for currently, in the first half, I think it was, we had like 6 turnovers, and I was going to say on this post game that we're going to have 20 turnovers, and it's surprising that we won. But then I looked at the box score a couple of minutes ago, and we only had 12 turnovers. So I was like more relaxed because 6 turnovers in like the first quarter or something wasn't very fun. So, and turnovers don't win basketball games.
Well, looking at the turnovers, I don't remember really a lot of bad plays by the Lakers. And
first quarter, Joe, they were a bit iffy.
Well, it's funny. I didn't remember, right? Well, they had 2 turnovers the whole game. Like, I did not remember, like, any mistakes.
They only had
2 turnovers.
I thought they had 6 in the first quarter, man. What planet am I on?
I'm seeing TO. It says 2.
Wow. I swear they had more in the first, but yeah, I mean, I remember.
Am I reading this? They must have written this wrong.
Nah, that's got to be wrong. I remember LeBron threw the ball away at least twice in the first.
Yeah, no, you guys are reading it wrong. ESPN has it all messed up. It's
they do.
All slanted to the right.
That's too.
They had 12
It's
turnovers.
it's 13 actually.
Okay.
It's 12.
No, it's 13.
Look, but it was noticeable in the second half that they improved.
NBA.com says 13.
Okay.
I would go with that because ESPN's been off. So.
And that's the official stat of the NBA, Joseph.
It'd be interesting to see when they came, because I swear they had 6 at quarter time, boys. Hey,
like
Gerald.
It's like the Brady Bunch.
Thanks for joining, Gerald. Did you see Robert's question?
Marsha!
Yes. Brady Bunch wasn't.
Why does Marsha get all the good stuff?
She's the pretty one. All right, hold on, guys. I'm going to answer Intel's question here real quick, and then I'll let Gerald take over the Masters of Ceremony again.
Yeah, we got Robert's question
thanks,
too.
Joe,
starting it up.
Oh, we'll get to Robert. I'm just going to. Intel had a Cool. Joe, do you think if we can? Do you think if we can get a big that can spread the floor? or our 3-and-D floor spacer and unleash AD to play his true position. The problem with that intel is 3-and-D guys cost money and draft picks. They're going to have to go get Valanciunas and have an outside shot at maybe getting Vucevic out of Chicago, which I don't think Chicago is going to make a deal with us. And then Kessler, again, Danny Ainge is the GM there. He's going to want internal organs, your firstborn, your fetus, and Sean's favorite beer. It's just not going to work. Where's Robert's question? Hold on.
Yeah, I've got it. So, the group essentially, we'll start. I'll just quickly answer it. But yeah, Mark, Sean, do you think Lakers are gaining an extra boost to play harder because they know that they can get home court advantage this year versus last year, knowing with 30 games left that they could be top 4? I don't know. Yeah, like human nature, Robert suggests yes. I mean, and that's what I'm saying before with guys like LeBron and that. They've got to get engaged now, man. If they sense or sniff an opportunity that we can win a chip, they've got to get real serious and real quick. And for me, there's only one way that can happen. And Joe's talked about the stats before. I think it's one team and pretty much the history of basketball that's one outside of that sort of top 4 position. So, Robert, your question is, my answer to your question is, hell yeah. And if they're not getting an extra boost from that, I'd be questioning why. Sean or Joe or Zach or Jill, what do you think? I think it's a good question.
That's it, Zach. It's pretty obvious. Zach's input. Zach, what do you think about that? What do you think about Mark's question?
What was the question again? Sorry, I barely heard near the end.
Just in a nutshell, Zach, we've got an opportunity here to, get a top 4 spot, which would make our postseason a lot more competitive than previous years. Do you feel like the team knows that and they're going to, play on the back of that for the next few months to ride out the end of the season to try to hopefully get that top 4 spot to then, go on to do something? What do you think about that, Zach? Are they, buoyed by that essentially?
I think home court advantage would be a huge opportunity for us. Like all of us would love it, but then, like I mentioned earlier, you have to remember we have to get past Denver, which we have lost. What was the stat, Gerald? Lost 8 of the last 9. Is that what it was?
Yeah, possibly even worse. But yeah, they've lost a lot to them. You're right. They're our nemesis.
I think it's 9 out of the last 10 against Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would have to get past them. Like if we get a top 4 seed, let's say they're the 3 seed, wouldn't we have to match up with them in the second round versus the Western Conference Championship? If let's say they're the 3 seed, we're the 4, would we play them in the quarterfinals, or how does the bracket work?
Oh, good. Yeah. Essentially before the Western Conference semis or whatever. Yeah.
Right,
I understand, Zach, but they're your boys, eh? You're there in Denver, so you wouldn't mind if we played them, so you can go to a few games, yeah?
Yeah, I'm actually going hopefully on the 22nd of February.
Sick, man. Hopefully we beat them for once for you.
So you're going to the Denver game in Denver?
Yeah, I am not flying to California to pay however much tickets are.
Good.
But we'll see what happens. But yeah, great game tonight, guys. I know you guys were talking about how in that second half they totally shut down Curry. I know I've been reading some of the boards while I was at the Thai place on what the Warriors. They have a similar thing with Curry that we do with LeBron. It's like, which LeBron are you getting today? Are you getting vintage Curry or are you getting old Curry? And in that second half, it definitely I hope not like our Thai food that's sitting in the kitchen right now. It's not going to be old Curry, but yeah, it was. Old Curry, but the Lakers left a lot of open shots for him in that first half, but they absolutely did made the right adjustments with what they did for him on the second half. I was really impressed with, and I think as hard as we are on JJ at times, because he does get out coached because he's a rookie and he has his ups and downs. Today, you got to give him credit for what they did as far as outlining a really good presence on Curry to make it really difficult for him in that second half.
Curry.
Well,
a lot of people don't like
you like
Curry.
a spicy? Do you like spicy curry?
I like curry, but a lot of people don't. I think because it's got a pungent smell and it sticks in with clothes. People don't like that. It's got to be done right. I've been eating curry my whole life, not in spurts, not regularly. That's the thing, is curry is supposed to be something that you eat once in a while, not all the time. And you got to do it right. If you do it wrong,
You got to get some spice with it, though.
Right. So at this point, I don't really have. I'm just trying to enjoy the games. This has been probably the best 3-game stretch, even though they won the first 3 games at the beginning of the year. I didn't have any kind of feeling at that point. It was too early. I was happy they started out well, but I just felt like these last 3 games are the first time I've seen them play from 0 to 0 focused. And the geez, why am I drawing a blank? I was going to say submissions.
That's right.
Well, you could say the Celtics, the Wiz, and the Warriors eventually submitted, but the substitutions is what I meant to say were pretty good the last 3 games.
Are you gonna fart in your brain or something?
No, I don't. I'm not in my brain. No. I was going to say something else, but I'm going to keep it again PG.
You will. That'll
we want the filters to share us. We want the filters to share us, unless of course somebody online says something stupid, and then I got to say something. But
cool.
Let me hold on. Let me. Rodell keeps commenting. Let me indulge him. The Lakers eliminated the second chance points in the second half, which led to most of the open threes in the first half. Do you agree with that? I don't, because it's Rodell.
I'll just say that again, Joe.
So Rodell said the Lakers eliminated the second chance points in the second half, which led to most of the open threes in the first half.
Yeah, look,
it really helped you that Curry couldn't make a drop a pee into the ocean in that second half. I mean, the defense was pretty good, but that being said, he missed his shots. Normally, Gerald, it's been the case of Steph Curry gets really cold now the past 6 weeks. I think they've really tried to Gerald, I'm sorry to say that, but even if the Anthony Melton didn't get hurt, I think it was only a matter of time before this version of the Warriors head came out of the soil, because this is who they are.
They've just gone off the rails.
They were kind of a Fugazi Warriors team that first 3 weeks, playing above their head, but this is the real Warriors.
They have some quality guys. They have some quality guys in that team, but the problem is they're just guys, and at the end of the day, they do need Curry to play at a superior level to carry those guys, and he's just not that guy anymore. He just is not going to be able to do it for him. We saw tonight, he just can't put this team on his back anymore, and they just don't have like a Klay Thompson or someone else on the side that is a 1A. For instance, like LeBron and AD, they don't have a 1A on that team that's going to be able to get what they need. I mean, Heald's a nice player. Payton's a nice. They got nice players, a lot of nice players. But the problem is they need that one other guy to step up when Curry's not doing it, and they just don't have that.
And just quickly as well, I look one that sort of we won't talk about because we don't like the guy, but man, he's been shit. Went off kilter there. Is Draymond. Like, I mean, I don't know about that guy. Like, he's gonna drop off the cliff pretty quickly to me. And he was terrible.
But the thing that bothers me though, bothers me though. Well, this is why Jovan Buha sometimes is just flat wrong, Alan. Your fascination with Bruce Brown, I don't get it. Why would you want to go after an 8-point player whose best season was 2 seasons ago, and that was in the finals? He has got $23 million on his salary cap. $23 million that's expiring.
Why would the Raptors make that public?
Yeah. It's again, Buha's just spreading all these rumors and stuff like that. These are
Why is he
illogical
so popular if
trades.
he's wrong all the time?
Well, he's more popular than us. So
Why? If he's
Because
wrong all the time.
because he's got an association with what looks like a reputable organization on the outside looking in.
Look, kiss ass, licking ass are always going to get ahead, but they don't last or they don't make the real money. Don't ever feel bad about that. You don't make real money kissing ass. You make somebody else their money. You want to make money, you got to do shit on your own. And of course, if you're not being a scumbag, it's going to take you a little longer to get there. So I don't know who this Buha is. Every 5 minutes, I hear this Buha guy.
Yeah, man.
I don't know who the fuck he is. See, now you guys got me pissed off. It doesn't matter. If he's lying, how the hell is he there? Is he kissing the right ass to lie?
You know what?
what's going on?
You know what? You need to really stop blaming other people for your behavior.
And the thing is, guys. Okay, I hear in the chat as well. Indiana must trade. I forget who said it, but Indiana
Not
must
to go
trade
hold Dr.
Miles
Phil
Turner.
on you, Joe, but you need to stop blaming other people
You
for
need
that.
to understand who you are. You need to stop doing what you're doing. I know. I get it. I know who he is.
Yeah, your commode mouth.
Joe is upset because I said Christie is an NBA player, and Joe disagreed. He was dodging Christie all summer. It's okay. We can't get them all right.
Shout out to Corbina. This Jovan's obviously a good-looking cat, but nah, jokes, man. I don't know if I look like Jovan, but I've seen him for a few years.
I don't
and
like
he's
anyone, so it doesn't really
No,
matter.
but he, for me, is more of a reporter that's sort of trying to get into a bit of the hot take space with the Lakers. I don't know. When he reports on the game, it's not too bad because he's there. He goes to he's better than Trevor Lane. I'm just going to say that for now, but who isn't?
Yeah, I give you that. But the thing is, though, when he says the rumors, I just don't like these rumors where they say the Lakers are going to do this or Lakers will do it.
He's got to stick to facts. Yeah, I don't like where he's going with it.
Yeah. And the thing is, you got to start thinking with common sense, guys, when you go into these things. Like Alan, Nick T's fascination with Kelly Olynyk is like Alan's YST's fascination with Bruce Brown. You got to remember, guys, and then there's also someone else in the chat that says, oh, Indiana has to get rid of Miles Turner because they can't extend him. There's a new CBA, which Joe absolutely hates that's in place. If somebody has $20 or more million, coming off the books, that is attractive. If you're in the first or second tax apron, before you guys say that they have to let these guys go, that they have to trade them, look and see where they are in the salary cap first and understand, that 20 million, like in the case of Phoenix, if somebody has a 20 million expiring there, that's like 70, 80 million coming off their books in taxes. So look and see what it is as far as how they're doing. Are they in the first tax apron? Are they in the second tax apron? Before you say that they have to absolutely trade these expiring contracts. In the Lakers case with D'Angelo Russell, they had to trade him because they wanted some type of value for that 20 million. And they were, as long as they stayed on the second tax apron, going to do everything they can to get rid of his contract. That was apparent. I'm not so sure about these other teams. In the case of Toronto, you want to make sure you trade that expiring contract for something really valuable in a return. And a couple of seconds, if they're lousy seconds, why would you do that? I mean, you have to see what exactly it'll be. If it's something for, maybe if the Lakers can trade their seconds in 30 or 31, that'd be more interesting than what the upcoming second round draft picks that they have upcoming this year, because that's the Lakers and the Clippers second rounders. And they're not really that valuable. All right.
Robert Wheeler has another question.
Here we go.
Sean Joe Mark. Sounds like a boy band. Where would you rank the Lakers right now in the Western Conference? I have Lakers currently as the third best team in the West, only behind Denver and OKC.
Over the past month, I'd say we're the fourth best team in the West.
Yeah, I don't know. You've got to put
Houston,
Memphis in that chat.
Houston and OKC have been playing the best
Get me
basketball in the
started.
Western Conference. Then I would put Denver at third in the past month, and then we're behind Denver.
What about the
Oh,
way
Memphis.
Memphis has been playing, boys? Just on form.
They're just
I'm not-
steady. They're just
Well,
steady. That Denver,
pretty nice,
and
steady.
I don't
Have you seen
trust.
Jackson
I
lately?
don't trust Memphis, man.
Man, I don't know. I do. I just reckon something's happened with Ja. And when you go through what he went through and he's locked in, and I don't know, man. I reckon he was on trajectory to be pretty special, Sean, and then all that crap happened, and he doesn't get talked about anymore. But he's still playing at a pretty elite level. Like tonight, and then yeah, for me, it's the growth in Jackson. They got Bain, and then they got Edie off the bench. That's a pretty nice tall man, line up there. But I hear what you're saying. They've got a lot to prove still. I just feel like they're a little bit of a dark horse. I keep saying it. I know Gerald gets a laugh out of it, but
I think it's important to not think about best team right now. Right now, focus on the fact that the Lakers have played a certain way the last 3 games that I haven't seen them play consistently all year. Are they hitting their stride now? Has the chemistry and the new players that have been playing this year, and the fact that a lot of the injured guys are coming into their own, is that playing a factor in this, and is it going to continue? Now teams are going to start adjusting to this. Can they readjust? Everything in sports is to readjust and adjust. That's going to be the question. And we're not going to really know too much on this road trip. If they play like this, they're probably going to come out of this 4-2, 5-1 for sure if they play like this. But I'm telling you right now, they're not going to really be tested really until the end of February. End of February, first week of March, there's going to be a week and a half stretch, 2 weeks almost, where they're going to be playing some really, really good teams. If they come out well out of that, and of course, if February 6th fruits us a player that they really, really need, a big, now AD, his confidence, his focus is going to be, they finally got me a center. Doesn't matter if the guys that are going to be available are going to be better than what we have. So it doesn't matter really who it is. It doesn't really matter.
And quite frankly, you know what? Let's end up playing the Clippers in the first round at the Intuit Dome, Gerald, because they rank 30th in attendance. Did you see that earlier?
Yes, I did.
wow.
The Clippers have averaged better attendance at crypto.com, the arena they share with the brother franchise, the Los Angeles Lakers, averaged around a little over 18,000. At the Intuit Dome, they're averaging just a little over 16,000, folks.
Yeah, but I think they're probably making more because A, they don't have to pay the rent magic, and B, they hiked up the rates. I've told you the stories about how that's $85 just to park right next to the Intuit Dome. So they're getting all that in. Ballmer's getting all that in. And they could probably do 15 or 16 at the Intuit Dome and still make more money than they were making with 18,000 at the.
I can't argue with that, Gerald. I mean, the cheap ass Benson family that owns the New Orleans Pelicans has the beautiful smoothie center outside of that shithole they call an arena in downtown New Orleans.
I don't think anybody is worse than in as far as either Washington or Charlotte. I would have to be told or seen differently that anybody is worse in attendance than those two teams.
You also realize that the arena in downtown Charlotte is 40 minutes away from the airport. I'll repeat that. It's 40 minutes away from the airport.
Alan,
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
What's the
in
buyout
North Carolina? Who wants to be in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina?
Great question, Free Smoke. What's the
People
buyout?
who like tobacco?
The wacky tobacco?
No, just tobacco.
Okay, Free Smoke is asking about the buyout restrictions in the new CBA. Maybe Rob can move a player or two to snap another player. Because the ratio, I think, for first tax apron teams like the Lakers, they cannot get anybody who has earned a salary or is earning a salary that gets bought out over $15 million. So anybody over $15 million that gets bought out after the trade deadline, they or any other first tax apron team, tax apron or second tax apron team. Well, second tax apron, you're not even able to get buyout players. So the first tax apron teams can only do below $15 million if their contract is on that. So very limited on buyout players. Alan YSD's. Oh, go ahead, Sean.
Gerald, I was just gonna say. So Joe was talking about the Lakers schedule coming up in February. Gerald, we are only 2.5 games out of a play-in spot. So I mean, as good as we've been playing, we really haven't made up any ground at all with any of the play-in teams, and we really haven't made up ground with any of the top 3 seeds. So we're kind of still right there in the middle of the Western Conference, and I would advise everybody that as badly as they played all year, Minnesota is only 2.5 games out of 5th spot right now. I think they're coming. I think Phoenix, when eventually they acquire Jimmy Butler, are going to be very competitive and looking for a top 6 spot as well. On top of that, the only team now that looks like it's really fading is going to be the Dallas Mavericks because they have injury woes that are really
They
concerning.
just lost Kleba, right?
And they've lost Derek Lively for a significant period of time, too. Plus, there's no word on Luka yet. So it looks like Dallas is just sliding down the slip and slide. But the Lakers can't be looking in the rearview mirror, Gerald. We got to keep going here because it doesn't stop. The NBA just doesn't stop. And they gotta at least win. I would say on this road trip, if they could go 5-3, I think that bodes well.
You mean 5? You mean it's only 6 games, so 5-1.
So I would say 4-2.
That's what we were saying. So Magic, I said everything ideal, 4-2 or above, and the Lakers cut that lead from the 2nd to 4th place teams by a game, which they've done actually tonight. They've cut a game off that. If they did that, I think it's a very successful road trip. That makes Robert happy. That makes everybody happy.
Yeah, but does it make Mark happy?
Well,
it doesn't matter.
You know what makes Mark happy is all those cheerleaders that he's been eyeing on our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break from all the other teams. He eyed more cheerleaders tonight. I'll just say he's adding them to the list.
That's what I do. But just give me a bit of warning if you're going to mention that. I'll tell the missus to stop watching. Nah, jokes. All good. Nah, it's been fun. Hey, guys, the Clipper girl. I mean, somehow get her and replace our bloke ASAP. Because she's brilliant.
Like the Warriors ones that you had a little bit more.
Oh, you're a fan. There you go.
I'll just say, it's interesting. We'll just leave it at that. But I want to go ahead and say again that Zach wanted us to talk a little bit more about Vando tonight. Jared Vanderbilt came in.
Who's Zach?
You don't see it on the scoreboard.
Zach. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, that's Zach. Yes. I want to go ahead and hit up Joe first. I know that you and I have Vando's been okay, we're not really enthused about him coming back for the first time in almost a year, Joe. I'm gonna hit Xbox you next on this, but your thoughts on Vando's return? A guy, again, you don't see it in the scoreboard, but he's an intangibles guy. And during the regular season, an intangible guy really can help you in stretches, but he does get played off the floor in playoff time. But for now, seeing him out there, seeing him hustling, seeing him giving him energy for the team, it worked out well for tonight for the time he was in there.
Yeah, there was really for the first game back, you didn't see any. He didn't play a lot. He only played really a quarter, but throughout the game. But he was efficient. He even had 3 steals.
Yeah.
And had a really good rebound put back as well. I don't.
Crash the offensive boards.
Yeah, I
something
don't.
the Lakers are the worst in the league at.
I think if he can see, the thing is though, is when you play the good teams, when you play the teams that can also play defense and score, that's where we have to assess his talent. Can he took a shot from the corner and he missed it badly. That's a problem in the NBA these days. You can't really have that because you'll be playing 4-on-5 too much if you're playing a team that knows how to work around that. However, I want to see what JJ Redick does to combat that, because I think that was the main issue with Darvin Ham, is he did not know how to adjust sometimes to those kind of things. And, Sean may not be happy about it, but it's true.
There you go.
And what are you going to do about it, Sean?
I didn't mean.
You want to take a poke? You want to take a poke at me?
Sean was minding his own business.
You want to take a poke at me?
Look, jackass.
Mark,
I'll go just quickly, Gerald.
then I'm going to get it to Zach after that. Go ahead, Mark.
All right, sounds good. But yeah, look, Vando did I said it before, Gerald, some really timely plays tonight, but he's also only played 12 minutes. So, we've seen with, whilst there's some shenanigans going on, we've seen with Vando that he can go missing. So it's only one game, guys. Obviously, I'm happy. For me, bringing Vando means that you're potentially going to play Hayes less as well. And Hayes, I don't know, Hayes is not someone you want playing 20, 25 minutes, on a championship winning team. He's not that good. And lately I've sort of seen the basketball smarts. He just doesn't have it, Hayes. So you want him like tonight where he can play 10, 11 minutes. Hayes has got to be your fourth sort of big man. So, of course, Vando coming back, man, it's a benefit. It's another body. You could see that maybe it made AD, a bit more excited than what he normally plays like as well. But, just really quickly, what Joe said and Sean is that, man, imagine if we can add a center to that mix. So you get one of these guys we spoke about earlier, one of the Euros, or you get a Miles Turner, and you've still got Vando, and you've got AD. Man, you start looking like a pretty, decent, sizable front court. And then I don't know what we're going to have to trade to make those things happen, and who's left in the mix in the backcourt. But one of the questions by Kurt was, what would you rank certain positions that we need? And I think the theme out of tonight is a center would be wicked. But Sean, what do you think about Vando, man? I thought, and then after that will be Zach as well. But yeah, I thought, great signs, obviously, but it's early days. It's 12 minutes. He might get injured next game, knowing him.
Intel, appreciate the super chats. Cannot thank you enough for doing so. He said, who's getting played off the court more in the playoffs, D'Lo or Vando? I think if Vando can't shoot, it's going to be Vando. Plus, I know that Van Gundy did not like the way he went around screens during the playoffs. So that's just my observations as well. Let me go ahead and bring it over to Zach, and then I'm going to bring it over to Sean to close out the Vando conversation. Answer JY's question for me, Zach, since you wanted to bring up the Vando part of it. And again, nice to have him come off the bench. Made a contribution. A lot of things that don't count in the scoreboard, but obviously we saw the effort and energy from him tonight that really helped. Would the panel put Vando in a trade package, bubble wrap Vando and ship him off? Panel? I would. He's still got a lousy contract. It's still 3 years left on the deal for me. I would say if you found a sucker for him, take it. Go ahead, Zach. Your thoughts on Vando and his performance tonight, in your opinion?
To start, I wanted to say my opinion, and then I will answer the question about that he asked the panel. But Vando did great defensively tonight, which I think a lot of us were hoping for when he came back. Like his defense, like if he came out and played terrible, we would probably said, why did we say oh my God, we can't wait till Vando gets back. He's gonna be amazing, and it sucks. But he got 3 steals tonight, which is a big defensive stat line that does not get noticed in the box score. That and blocks. So that's my opinion on him. Like, great to have him back defensively. I'm just hoping it's consistent, not like 3 steals this night and gets like 5 fouls and shoots like 0 of 3 the next game. Like, inconsistency, because that's not what we need for him. We need him to be a consistent player if we want to win in this league, because he's on this team. Everyone needs to play a part in this team. And then to answer the question, I am 50-50 on if we should trade him away. Depends who wants him, and like what would you give in return? Like, would you give draft picks and not even a player for him, or what would you give up? Like the team giving us players, draft picks, etc. for Vando. So I'm 50-50 on if you want to trade him or not.
Shano, my friend, your thoughts on Vando? I mean, again, that contract with his injury history is not going to get any fresher. I mean, he had a good performance tonight, but how long did we see him last season? So let me get you out. Do you need me to get you off mute, or you got it? I got it. I'll take it. I'll get it for you. There you go. All right. So, my friend, your thoughts on Vando? I mean, I don't think you're going to find a buyer for him right now because of too many years on his contract. So he's got to go ahead and stay healthy, number one. And number two, he's got to go ahead and play the kind of defense and hustle we saw tonight.
Yeah, Gerald, the defensive chocolate Chandler Parsons. Nobody wants that contract. Nobody. Despite what he can do defensively, Gerald, we know what he can't do offensively, which is pretty much everything else except putting the ball in his hands above the cylinder and having him just drop it in there. Other than that, do not ask him to do anything else offensively. He's got a terrible handle. His shot is bad. He can't create off the dribble. He has trouble with coordination, keeping his eyes in front of him, Gerald, with the ball in his hands. We even see that at the rim when there's nobody there. You're cringing when he's actually at the rim. So we know what he can't do. And I agree with you. If there was such an appetite for that kind of player with a contract like that, there'd be a lot of teams lining up, but nobody's lining up. Gerald, it reminds me a lot of that story Bill Russell told when he was GM of the Sacramento Kings, and he was trying to trade players that he thought and the Kings thought were good players too. And he starts calling them a bunch of bums on a bus ride. And one of the vets gets up and says, what are you doing, Bill? You can't call these guys bums. They're professionals. And Bill Russell stands up on the bus, Gerald, says, I'm trying to trade them, but nobody will take them. And if you don't believe me, come into my office Monday morning and I'll call around to all the GMs and you can hear for yourself. And Gerald, I think if Laker fans actually heard Rob Pelinka having conversations with other executives about Jared Vanderbilt, they would get an eye and an ear opening experience about what exactly other executives think about Jared Vanderbilt.
Once again, it is the Lakers with the victory, 118-108. I'm here with Joe Sorrell, Sean Grice, the Magic Man. He's back in town. Great to have him here. Mark, aka Xbox, happy Australia Day for him. Truly appreciate the super chats again. Intel Wild. Zach, appreciate you being here as well. Zachary Roblito, right there for you. Want to go ahead and thank you again, Intel, saying, Gerald, so going on into a playoff series, would you rather have D'Lo or Vando? It's a moot point. I don't know why why this chat is still. Exactly. Well, there you go. I don't know why we're still continuing this D'Lo discussion. Doesn't he play on the Nets now? Really? I mean,
Define
uh,
play.
taking shots. That's what I'm
taking
taking a lot of shots. Yes, for a team that's tanking. How about that? But yeah, I don't know why we're still continuing it, but I would probably say D'Lo of the two I would have on the playoff.
Gerald, D'Lo was
flank.
also killing the mood of the team. And you've noticed
Oh,
since he's gone that, yeah, like just to add to, the overall discussion there, like it's not just looking at Vando and D'Lo as players in isolation, because you're probably going to take D'Lo in terms of scoring and things like that. But man, he was such a negative on the team, and you could tell when,
like 2 years ago in Minnesota, he was such a negative on that team. That's why
yeah.
they traded him to the Lakers.
And man, when we played the Nets, you could really see LeBron sort of wanting to get back at him. Although we had a shocking game against them and won
And
by a
vice
point.
versa.
Yeah, for sure. But man, look, D'Lo, you don't get too many chances with the Lakers, bro. You've had 2 chances, and it's not like he wasn't given opportunities to start and play. He rocked up when he wanted to. He was playing for contracts and stuff like that. D'Lo is not a player you want in your team to win finals. He's not a winning player, and I'm glad he's gone. Sorry, John. I know you're in the snow, so you can't stick up for your boy.
I actually would have wanted him to stay just because I think, again, keeping his expiring contract would have meant a bigger trade for the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the trade. I still like it.
It's okay, but the problem is, does it prevent you? Did that trade preclude you from making a bigger trade for a bigger impact player? That's what everybody has to ask themselves. We always talk about these big fish that we're talking about getting, the Levines, the higher end centers, things of that nature that might be available. We can't afford it. We just don't have enough assets to go get it now. And that expiring contract of D'Lo's was very attractive to other teams. So that's the problem.
I know.
Yeah. So if Rob does not make a big splash, if he does not get the big trade that you guys all want, maybe one of the reasons why was that he traded D'Lo's contract a little too soon and should have waited and held on to it to get something much more substantial. But again, we'll never know at this point.
It's a tough one. As well, Joe, just really quickly, I think you don't really understand the pressure that he might have been getting from guys like LeBron and that. I don't feel like LeBron was too keen to keep D'Lo in the team. And it might have been a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction in hindsight, but some of Rob's decisions have been proven to be, practically for LeBron. So it's got to be an element of that there as well. But yeah, I think
I agree with Mark. It's Gerald's fault.
Shut up, Joe. Intel said playing defense. I never said about playing defense. D'Lo can't play defense. I never said that was. I think Xbox
Mark,
talking.
Look, Mark said you were wrong. I agree with him. I just want to
shut up, Joe.
Make it. I want him.
Shut up, Joe.
I want to make it clear.
Shut up, Joe. Shut up, Joe.
It was there. No one's wrong. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Intel can't play.
Shut up, Joe.
Joe. I think we should all do that in unison.
Look what we've started.
That. I never mentioned anything about D'Lo's defense. Yeah. D'Lo and defense are far apart, Intel. Never mentioned anything about that. So I think you're mistaken on that one. Once again, the Lakers do win 118-108. The reason why I would have kept D'Lo in the playoffs is because of his scoring ability. And at times it worked out for us. But again, like Xbox was saying, addition by subtraction, like Joe had originally said when they made the trade. So again, I didn't say it was a bad trade. I said it was a nice trade. I just said it may preclude you from getting something bigger as far as a third player that really can help us out to a better degree. CJ says, Sean, Joe, everyone really, with the Lakers playing well right now, do we worry about All-Star break providing too much for rest after the momentum we built?
No. And to answer Kurt's question, Taylor Page, Lisa Joanne Thompson, Paula Abdul, Moon Bloodgood, and number 5. I have to think about that one. But yeah, those are the top Laker girls.
Yeah, I don't know, Rodell. People in this chat randomly just will say we should still get Draymond Green or we should still pick up Dwight
Why?
Howard. Yeah, I'm just like, guys, come on. Why?
Why are we
Howard.
picking up Draymond Green? Just to
Guys are
say we
crazy.
did, we need that championship medal from a nut kicking,
Bro,
ear swinging,
don't do it to me.
blunt
Don't go there.
rolling,
Chilling.
great. Please.
Great
I want
beard.
to pull up that Men in Black gif with the trucker with the 45. Oh, please, with Draymond Green.
All right, but that's the case.
Joe, you're on mute.
Don't hurt me.
So you're on me.
That's one of the best gifts ever. I remember watching that in the theater. I was like, the guy's pointing a shotgun at him. He's like, please. That guy knocked it out of the park. His one scene and he killed it. Oh man,
it's so It's so true. It's so memorable. Almost 30 years later, the guy did nail it.
You can call them when you get to the impound. Like that guy didn't give a shit.
Make sure you tell him that at the
He's
impound.
seen it all. He had seen it all, and then of course, Onofre was just.
No.
I mean, I don't know. His walk, his everything was so good in that movie. That was seriously one of the best movies I've ever seen.
It's such a classic comedy, honestly. Yeah. From the
man.
opening credits to the end.
Danny, I don't know why you're leaving for good. We love having you
Yeah.
here. Love having you
What's
part
going
of the
on?
show. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
someone said something to you, Danny, in chat,
Yeah.
or you
Yeah,
feel
we're-
like
we're-
we've
Guys,
ignored
we're not
something, but-
babysitters, all right? Come on, let's get back to
Yeah.
the show. Give me
Nah, fair call, but yeah, just
yeah.
Danny,
come on.
we got you, man. Yeah, all good. You go, Gerald.
Yeah.
Uncle Joe said something very rude. And what did you say to him?
Racist.
What did you
Hmm?
say to him?
Nah. Let's not go there. Like maybe Joe didn't do anything. Joe hasn't
You
said
can't handle my
anything
humor.
towards Danny. Yeah, they always have a good
Well,
joke. And,
It was only
and
a
works
joke,
both
Danny. It
ways.
was only a joke.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry
If you
for taking
can't
off-
decipher the jokes, don't watch.
Yeah.
Well, I told you why weeks back, Joe. Why that's the case.
No, you can't handle the jokes. Then I'm not going to be a babysitter, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think Joe's
Danny-
done anything wrong at all tonight, guys. So I don't know. Let's just
Racist is
move on from
that's
that.
ridiculous. I don't see
Yeah,
that.
that's
come
next
on,
level.
Danny.
No,
Danny,
no.
come on. Let's
Mia,
let's
chill
let it
out,
go,
Mia,
Danny.
like-
I'm having you here.
Some of us have
come on,
known
We
Danny.
love
Joe
Mia
for
as well.
years.
Don't mention those words either.
Uh,
Let's move on, guys. Like,
Yeah,
like we've
let's
had a
move
great
on.
win tonight, and it's a straight A.
Yeah.
So let's focus
Let's
on
all
some
enjoy- let's all
positives.
enjoy-
And Danny, if you want to come back, you're welcome back. That's it.
I will say this though. I mean, if they do want a sustained winning streak here, Gerald, they're going to need more than what they're getting out of Vando and DFS. You need more out of those two offensively.
Mhm. No, I agree again because even the bench tonight, outside of Connect, who shot very well tonight, 13 points for him. The thing is, though, we need better production from our bench. We did get about 22 tonight, I think overall. That's not great. That's probably right around what an average team does, between 20 and 25
at this
points. I
point in
think.
time, then you have two main goals. You need a big that you put beside AD, and then secondarily, you need a sixth man to score 15 to 20 points off the bench. You need a sixth man too. That would be number two on what you need. And quite frankly, a former Laker who did win a sixth man of the year is available. And I think that he can be had, and it wouldn't take a first round pick.
Hey, Henry, good luck to your Commanders tomorrow. He's out in
Yeah.
Philadelphia, going to watch the game. Good luck to you, my friend.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be cold tomorrow. Parka up, my friend. Rodell says they should probably move Rui to the bench. The starting lineup looked pretty good today. Well, this is something a lot of our fans have been asking for, Rodell, is DFS in the starting lineup. You made a trade for him, so you might as well see how it is. Again, Rui defensively has been an issue all season. This whole team has to some extent, especially when you're the bottom 5 in the NBA in defense for most of the year. So yeah, absolutely. I think that it's something that absolutely the Lakers should consider. And it sucks that it comes on Rui, having an injury with a left calf injury being a day-to-day issue now. But hey, you got to do what you got to do at this time. And if DFS is the better fit, let's see it. Let's see it. Give it a try. But again, he has to score enough to keep the other team occupied. If he does not, if he just goes out there and as Sean says, the cardio bros, if DFS joins the cardio bros and gets you less than 10 points a game, that's going to be a distraction for the Lakers. I think he can shoot and score enough to stay above the 10 points a game. But if he's not doing that, Sean, I think it's going to be a distraction like having Vanderbilt out there if he was in the starting lineup.
100%, Gerald. It's not I agree, and Gerald's correct. It's not sustainable. Plus, you're going to play Vanderbilt and DFS together a lot. And Gerald, the best 5-man lineup tonight was a 3-guard lineup. It was Reeves, Christie, Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, AD. 3 of those guys have trouble scoring. 3. Now, you were able to hold a Golden State team that is really leaking like a bad lotta from Russia. But when you play a great team, like Joe was saying, like a top 10 team that's offense and defense, they're going to squeeze what you think you can get out of those guys, and they're going to suffocate you. And we can't play Jared Vanderbilt out on the floor with DFS if DFS is only, like Gerald's is saying, averaging 10 points. I need more. You need more. And if you're not going to get it out of that group, then Rob has to think outside the box and really trade for a 6-man. Oh, I don't know. Say somebody like Jordan Clarkson, who's available and who Danny Ainge desperately wants out of Utah.
Yeah, but Danny Ainge is going to make you work for it, Sean. Just any trade, Kessler, Sexton. I'd be more interested if you throw Sensabaugh in there than Clarkson personally, Sean, because at least he's a young player who grow and has shown in a couple games already this season, getting into the 20s and the 30s for Utah, that he can score when given the opportunity off the bench. So I would be more apt if they throw in Sensabaugh, because the salaries do match up if they do Sensabaugh, Kessler, and Sexton for a package. I mean, it's something that obviously bolsters the roster, but it's not. I think when Joe says we need a third guy, there's still not a third guy there when you make that trade.
Are you including Sensabaugh in that scenario because Dalton Connect is going to Utah?
No, I would. You could trade without trading Dalton Connect to Utah. I know he'll ask for him.
He'll ask for him.
That's just going to be a straight no, guys. Dalton's not a. Why you can't? Oh, look, Gerald, you're the president.
No one should be off the table.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, for the right deal, obviously. But man, he's not the player you start with. That's for sure. Obviously. So.
Here's how you got to look at this. Yes, no one's off the table. Even Austin isn't off the table if you got the right deal. Yeah. What this will do, if they play like this through the trade deadline, is it'll give them a better chance to possibly get a better deal, because now they're like, well, it looks like this guy's playing well. This guy's playing well. This guy's playing well. Maybe we could use him. I don't think 2 weeks is enough, though. Really, like if you really ask me. However, the Lakers have to address the center position, and there are some cheap options out there that Rob needs to make happen, and he wouldn't need to gut the depth. he wouldn't. If you got to go all in on something big, sure, but I just don't see it happening. We're not going to go get Jimmy Butler. We're not going to get Zach LaVine. These guys are making too much money. If you had D'Lo's contract still, you might have been able to put something together, but you still need the other team to help you out. Like, they'd have to take not a lot of things, and I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So with that, guys, again, the Lakers do win tonight, 118-108. Very impressive victory. So was it no more in the playback chat? I said, don't, because he talked about, this is going to be an easy win. Don't say that. Don't say that. But it actually turned out to be right after all. So as far as no more is his, was his moniker. That's right. No more. But yeah, absolutely a good win for the team. Good second half. They head out on the road even more now. I guess next week's game is going to be against the Charlotte Hornets. I don't want to say this is a gimme, guys, but they are in tank mode. But they did just beat New Orleans tonight by 30. So they'll come in with a little bit of momentum.
Oh, they got their
their
big win out of the way, Gerald.
Okay. And they beat Zion. Yeah, they destroyed Zion tonight, even though Zion got 28. I know Joe's still thinking about, taking Zion under the right circumstances.
That's a battle of which OnlyFans hoe can I impress in the front row game.
Thank you so much, Henry, for the super chat. Truly appreciate it.
Zion.
Nah, Zion, bro. Turn it up.
Oh, he's all about the OnlyFans models, Mark.
Well, that might be his only good point, but yeah, I don't want him anywhere near the club. I don't know. He's obviously got, he had that talent, but yeah, mate, he can't even keep fit, bro.
I haven't done an investigation on the New Orleans fan base with Zion. Do they come up? Do they show up when he plays?
No.
Nah, they've gotten over it. Like what's happened to their team the last few years, and I even followed
the flavor of the month.
Yeah, but they're just not even. They hate Zion now because they've seen it firsthand what he's done in terms of.
I did not see this coming. I thought he was a much more sophisticated. He was one of the appeals about him was he was very sophisticated coming out of Duke. Very, just kind of looked like he was ahead of his maturity a little bit, which makes sense. Duke players usually are like that, but I don't know what happened, man.
And you see some of the games that he had, Joe. He practically didn't. He wasn't missing. Like
Joe,
you'd see his stats line was 80%.
What evidence did the
shame.
New Orleans Pelicans show you? I'm addressing Joe Sora right now. What evidence did the Pelicans show you that they were structurally made to handle somebody like that who possibly had those kinds of issues off the court?
I can't put it on the New Orleans Pelicans for that. This is a Zion problem.
Well, I would disagree with you in only saying in the sense that you had an ass clown named Dell Demps who's responsible for drafting Zion Williamson. And this is the ass clown that played footsie with the media and tried to lowball and kick in the balls a great player named Magic Johnson. Now, say what you want about Irvin, about an executive, but as a person, he's a stand-up guy. And for a creep like Dell Demps to do that, Joe, tells me everything I need to know about what a pus bucket sewer franchise the New Orleans Pelicans are, and they deserve what they got because they structurally were not ready for that situation. They're a sewer small market team, and good on the NBA because they're an example of how not to build a franchise.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. However, if I went to a team and you have to play for that team, I then would have played my contract out, waited until I was a free agent, which in 2023 he could have been a free agent, or 2024 maybe even. because they would have picked up his qualifying offer at that point if he was playing well. You test the market and you go where you want. That's what I would have done. I know I want to be great. If I had the skills of Zion Williamson, I'm going to tell you for a fact, I'm not going to be eating gumbo and buttered up whatever they have out there.
Well, you know something? These guys can cry me a fucking river. Zion Williamson was looking at New York, and so was Joel Embiid. Well, guess what, fuckers? Cat ended up there. Cat's the one there, and he's the one that's banking all the pub, all the success on the court. He's smarter than you two. He's smarter. He saw an opportunity to get out of a bad situation. He took complete and utter advantage of it. You want to send me to New York? Let me pack my bags. Don't even have to think twice about it. Meanwhile, those two players I'm talking about had every opportunity to try and strategize their way to New York, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. Sometimes you have to take control of your own fate. But a lot of guys don't do this in the NBA, Joe. They don't do it. It's not like in the NFL where John Elway tells the Baltimore Colts to go to hell. I'll be dead before I play for you. A lot of these guys could say that, Joe. Zion had every opportunity to tell the New Orleans Pelicans, you know what? I'm not playing for your gutter of a franchise. You guys haven't won dick since before I was born. You haven't won dick afterwards. So why should I play for you? But a lot of these guys just see the money. That's all they see. Instead of taking the opportunity to grab your career by the horns and go where you want to go.
Elway, I'll use Elway as an example. Elway had some leverage because he could have went and played for the Yankees. I'm not using that as an excuse, but the point is, this is Zion not going to New York. Let me ask you this.
Eric Lindros told them to Quebec Nordique to go to hell. I'm not playing for that franchise. They traded him.
Who was the last basketball? Was it Steve Francis? Was the last guy that did this?
Yes, Joe.
You didn't want to go to Vancouver, right?
It was, yeah.
That's a great retort. I don't know how that would have worked out. That would have been an interesting scenario if he had said, "I'm not going to New Orleans. You guys have already drafted Anthony Davis. You guys have gone back and forth from Charlotte to New Orleans. You're the Hornets. You're the Pelicans. You're the Peckertons. You're whatever the hell you are. I don't want to play for a team that's not really."
We've seen it in every other sport except basketball, really, since Steve Francis.
The media scrutiny right now, would you say, is worse than it's ever been in the history of media?
Yes.
Because of social media? I think that's probably why you're not seeing that anymore. You're not seeing the Eli Mannings doing that kind of stuff anymore because they're going to get bombarded with all their social media and their marketing and their brand. What Zion should have done is played his 4 years or 5, and then became a free agent.
There are unique situations as well, like not to go too far into the weeds, but the Vancouver Canucks had to trade a Hall to get the Sedin twins to play together, but that changed their franchise. But it just certain things happen in life where you kind of got to take control, and Joe's got a point too when he talks about how you hear a lot of the NFL cohorts complaining about salary and the hazard pay or lack thereof around that, and you hear that in other sports as well. You don't hear that in basketball. The guys aren't really complaining about making $18 million a year and playing 23 minutes a night. That being said, Joe's also right when he says that if you look at the ratings and seeing a steep decline in people's attention spans with this. It just goes to show that even though they're reaping the rewards of those that came before them, they're also not contributing to the success that other player like the value in the BRI is that it's basically 50-50 now, correct?
Yeah, it's been 50-50 for a while.
The players are not doing their part in complete and utter candor to go ahead maximize.
Yeah, you're right, and I'm glad you brought that up. That's the reason why you have these contracts. That's why we had to sign. That's why the Lakers had to sign D'Angelo last year, because if they didn't, they lose out on that money. They can't get that back. They can't go. It's not money that goes away and then you can replace it. That part right there is where the owners really screwed up. They should have never agreed to that kind of deal, because now you're forced to sign deadbeats to save your contracts. So what do? They already have guaranteed contracts, but there's a cap. And this is a discussion that's going on right now in baseball, because all these assholes are now crying about why the Dodgers are picking everybody up, even though 4 of the guys they picked up this year took less money from the team that they were negotiating with. How is that? Are you stupid? Are you stupid? Like, seriously, it's right there. Like, the information is right there. So which one is it? People want things when they want it. They don't care about common sense. You're getting your ass whooped. Now you want caps. Now you want gas to be, I don't want to pay that much in insurance. And then something happens. Wait a minute. Why is the insurance company helping me? Motherfucker, you didn't pay for it. And if you got bounced, guess what? You gotta go do your work then. You just want everything handed to you? So life isn't fair, folks. Using this as an example for Zion, I'm not going to make an excuse for him. You play your contract out. You're Zion Williamson. You're supposed to be the next. Somebody said next Shaq, which was ridiculous. I thought he'd be a more high flyer Charles Barkley, and that's really damn good, by the way, because Charles Barkley could roll and he could fly too. He was a freak of nature. So you're telling me there's a guy out there that moves faster, that can jump higher, that plays like Charles Barkley? Holy crap, this guy's going to be a star. But he cared about gumbo and biscuits and skanks before basketball. And it's fine if you're the mid-tier guy, and I'm not trying to put shade on this guy. Like, if you're a Jeremy Grant, if you're some guy like Nick Richards, like some middle of the road, good to okay, very good type, but not Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson was supposed to be the guy. Like,
you're the number 1 overall pick. You're the number 1 overall pick, not a first round pick. You're the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, but like, you're not disciplined, man. You can say all this crap about New Orleans that you want. Like, I'm sorry, often players go the other way where they want to show more in these situations. I don't know, man. When you got that poor discipline, that's not NBA level to me. So I don't care what's happening in New Orleans. The guys should be balling out or wanting to ball out, and at the very minimum, be NBA fit, NBA ready. It's the problem that I have with Luka as well. Luka's, obviously got the numbers to back him all up and that. But I've got a problem with guys on 40 to 50 mil that can't even keep themselves fit, man. And Zion have all the excuses in the world about New Orleans, but man, the food's good everywhere. You can get DoorDash, Uber Eats, wherever you want, man. You're that rich, you can fly food in from whatever town you want. I don't know. For me, it's very, very disappointing. He just doesn't have the right mindset. And I've seen that because I've watched New Orleans fans talk about him a lot, and they just can't stand him anymore because they've given him chance after chance. You got to stay fit, Sean. Like, you don't need an organization to tell you to stay fit. Do you?
No, bro. No, you should no.
You know, I don't know, man. Elite players like say LeBron, he hasn't always been in the best situations. Never ballooned out because he, or whatever. I just think there's not the discipline, but he's got more than just the food issues. You referenced the OnlyFans before. He's had a lot of that sort of side stuff that I just reckon it's just not. He came in the league mature, Joe, but he's not mature now, man. And the money, the fame, it's got to him. But the last thing that you want to see is someone losing their discipline. I don't care where you
Well,
play.
it's also I agree. There's something to be said about it being on the individual as well, Mark. I agree, but I'm also I also believe that a lot of the time it's important that a team understands that if it doesn't have the structure or the insular nature to deal with the player and their behavioral issues, that then you need to do the right thing by
Yeah, yeah.
your
It's not
organization
going to
and the
work, is
player
it?
and
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And to be fair, that's never been the situation there, because all they could think about was that they got the number one overall pick and they're going to be on ABC and TNT, at least for like 10 games, just based off that name recognition, and instead of trying, like, think about it, man.
yeah,
What think think about the go back. When's the last time an NBA team drafted a overall number one and they surrounded that player with a mix of vets and also young players who had the same kind of attitude that player did? Now, to be fair, Minnesota tried. They tried. They tried with Cat. They tried
yeah,
with Levine, and they tried with Wiggins. That didn't work, but two of those guys were first round picks, and at least they tried to put some vets around them. Now, Wiggins ended up winning a championship with the Warriors. Cat's playing pretty well with the Knicks, and what happened to the other guy, right? He's talked
yeah.
about a lot in trade rumors, but no one ever really talks about him, how he wins and losses, because those two guys ended up being guys you can win with, and Levine isn't, and that's just a fact. So it just depends. A lot of it depends on the organization and whether, like, Mark, what Lakers pick post Kobe, pre LeBron did you think was a great pick? Like, that is a can't miss pick. Was there a can't miss pick for you in those
Well, yeah,
years?
maybe not in hindsight. I mean, out of all those players, Sean would probably be Bi that I sort of thought was
I thought Bynum.
but post. Is that the period you're talking about? Oh yeah, Kobe and then LeBron. Yeah, there you go. Well, Bynum,
What about
started
Bynum?
going that far back.
No, he's Sean is
Who
asking a
wouldn't be a
can't miss
bust?
draft pick, or who you
Yeah,
thought would be a can't miss draft pick
since
after
Kobe, yeah, and then up until LeBron.
I didn't know at the time, honestly. I was hoping, but I didn't know for sure though with Bynum.
Mm.
I really didn't. I was up in the air on it.
Was Bi a good pick in your eyes at the time, guys? Like, obviously, wasn't.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I wanted
That's
Porzingis
the only
actually.
one, yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted Porzingis in that draft, to be honest with you. So that was who I was hoping the Lakers would get the year Porzingis. That was the ball draft, correct? Is that because
No,
he was
wasn't that
just
2015? Wasn't that the
okay?
D'Angelo? That was the
Yeah.
D'Angelo draft.
Okay. Because that's who I wanted as far as Porzingis instead of D'Angelo. I wanted because I know there was those comparisons to Magic on D'Angelo were just too much for me. I was hoping
Mhm.
for Porzingis at that point in time. But then that's just me. But hindsight's 2020. We can do it all we want. Speaking of Kobe, before we head on out, and I'm going to turn over to Zach here in a second. Zach, we haven't forgotten about you, my friend. So we know you're off on on LFB Island there, but we got you. We got you covered. But before we head on out, I did want to mention if you will catch the docu-series on Kobe Bryant, let us know your thoughts on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it if you catch the series. I think it's debuting tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So if you get a chance to see it, it's a docu-series that's out there. Go ahead and catch it. I heard it's really good. I've seen some trailers for it, and that it looks like it's going to be pretty extensive. So I'm looking forward to catching that. I've got that on recording, so I'll get that. But Zachary, before we head on out, I want you to go ahead and talk about it. We never hear your thoughts on what you think the Lakers need, and who do you like as far as there's a player or players out there that you like the Lakers to get. Who would that be?
I think, in my opinion, who I think we should try and get would probably be Miles Turner. I think he would be a great addition with AD, like a true shot blocker, because that's what he is, isn't he? He's a 3-point shooter and a shot blocker. Is that correct for Turner? Or
Turner,
am I
yeah.
wrong?
Miles Turner is a shot blocker, yes.
Yeah,
And he stretches it out to the 3, yes.
which, in my opinion, the shot blocker is the big part that we need, like to match up like with AD, because like if we play Denver like in the playoffs, which more likely we will, because Denver is unstoppable right now, we would need like someone to guard Jokic, because Anthony Davis can't do it. I don't think Jackson Hayes can do it. Vando probably definitely can't, because he's not. I don't know. Vando might be able to, but doubt it. So, in my opinion, we just need a shot blocker to match up with him, and then we might actually beat Denver if we had a shot blocker, because I think that's our only problem why we can't beat Denver. We can't stop Jokic because Anthony Davis either gets burnt inside or can't close out on the 3-point in time. That's just my opinion on it. You guys can disagree with me or agree. I don't mind
No,
either way.
that's a solid thing. Again, with Miles Turner, I understand that he has a contract that they can't renew, but Indiana is in the middle of a playoff race themselves. So
Right.
I don't know how realistic trading your starting center would be. Again, we've seen dumb moves in the past couple weeks. I still don't understand why Charlotte would trade a productive center that's only making $5 million, away for just some late second round draft picks that were just really just. I don't know. I still can't get that one. That just tells you that's a bad front office right there. So maybe we can get LaMelo after all, guys, if you're interested with him. But yeah, that's obviously that's good. But again, is Indiana going to trade away their starting center even if they lose him at the end of the season?
Right.
Well, I'm going to say something real quick from Zach's assessment on the shot blocker. There's Wembanyama. You know who's second? Walker Kessler.
Right.
Walker Kessler. So if that is indeed what this team needs, then there needs to be something there. This is where waiting till the end is likely going to happen. I don't know who needs Kessler enough to give Danny 2 first-round picks. I just don't see it. I don't see anyone giving Danny 2 first-round picks unless they're like protected up to 22 or something like that, which
Right.
I don't know what the point of that is. But if the Lakers can get that shot blocker, then they're in a very good position to at least manage mentally what Anthony Davis has been asking for.
Right.
And it's a very favorable contract. Miles Turner's contract is just too difficult, guys. The Lakers would have to trade their depth.
For a guy who's going to walk at the end of the season, Joe.
And really, going back to what we were saying about these contracts, these 50-50s, this is the problem with the NBA. You are forced to sign players who are not players you want, but you have to, because you have to keep them on board so you don't lose that contract. Otherwise, you're done. You're going to be capped out. It's a horrible system, by the way. The NBA system is absolutely horrible. It's the worst system. It's even worse than the NFL. I used to think the NFL was bad. But the NFL has one thing going for them every year, and that is you can get talent 1 through 7 no matter what during each draft. Where in the NBA, it's just too difficult to get that game-changing year-by-year player. It's very hard. Even the first picks don't turn your team around. It's very difficult. So the system is shitty, and it's always been shitty. It just got shittier.
Right, and I also just wanted to say before we finish up here, tomorrow is going to be a very sad day for a lot of Lakers fans. I remember that day. I was about to do some homework, and then I saw the news that Kobe died in a helicopter crash, and I thought it was
That'll be
fake
tomorrow,
like everyone
yeah.
else. And yeah.
We're going to go ahead and honor Kobe tomorrow on tomorrow night's show. Don't worry, we will definitely have something to honor it. I have got a special T-shirt that I always wear on that day to memorialize him as best we can, and we'll make sure we spend some time talking about. Absolutely, there you go, Mark. Yeah, we'll spend some time talking Kobe in a bit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Magic Man, any last insults for Joe before we head on out?
No.
That's what I thought.
But a good win tonight.
What you gonna do?
Yes, what you gonna do?
Nah, take the win, man.
Yes, we'll take the win.
Yeah, imagine if we hadn't beaten the Warriors, we would have been.
Cut you.
Joe, you conveniently had that ready.
That's
Yeah.
scary.
I'll offer an olive branch. How about that?
Love it. But we need you to try an olive on camera.
I don't give a fuck.
But Alan, are you ready to give up? Are you ready to give up 2 first-round draft choices when LeBron and AD aren't there? Ask yourself, these guys, when you go all out with your trade proposals. Ask yourself, for the players that you're bringing in, are they worth 2 draft choices that will be available to those teams, most likely unprotected, after LeBron and AD are gone? So you have no idea who's going to be on the team at that time. So you got to ask yourself that. Is that worth it? So there you go. And we'll leave it at that. So again, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. It is, of course, Joe Soro, Magic Man Sean Grice, Zachary Robledo, and, of course, Spark, a.k.a. Xbox. Happy Australia Day to you, my friend.
Thanks
Truly
very much,
appreciate it. Absolutely great having you here. Once again, the Lakers win 118-108. We can never have a full show like this without incident. It never stops us, though. We're always going to go ahead and try to do what we can to bring you the best in Lakers entertainment as only we can. So we'll be back tomorrow night. We will talk about Kobe and honor him on the day of his passing and Gigi's passing. We will go ahead and talk about that. It is going to be a very rough day, as always. It's now 4 years? No, 5 years. It's 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. Goes by
Time
fast.
flies, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know what? It was sort of around that time that COVID and stuff happened. So,
Yep.
Whether or not
2020 was not a good year until the
was-
Lakers won. I'll just leave it at that.
No, and yeah, you're right. And you know what? I remember one thing I do, and I feel bad sometimes when I do golf about AD, is he showed so much, respect, and he would always reference Kobe in that 2020 year. Always, when they talk to him about how the team's playing, he'd reference, the Mamba and doing it for that. So I do respect him for that. He seems perfectly media trained at times, but just as a fan that started watching, when Kobe sort of was at his peak, as I said in playback, just man, I might not be on tomorrow, guys, but yeah, like Kobe means so much to me even now. And that relationship that he has with Pau, man, it was so special, and the way that Pau's continued that relationship with the daughters and Vanessa, You know, you'd love to have that sort of relationship in your own life with people. So, you know, shout out to Kobe, man. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, indeed. Sean, any thoughts? I'm hoping you'll be here tomorrow night, but in case you might not be, I know I left it to you for some final thoughts, but talking Kobe, my friend, that's always a good thing that when you can say something. Because Joe and I will have plenty of words tomorrow for
Yeah,
Kobe.
look, you know, Joe's mentioned this before. He doesn't like discussing it, and you know, he doesn't need to go into details about it. We know, his memory is a blessing, Gerald. I mean, it. That's what you hope to say about somebody that you remember who's departed. If that memory was a blessing, you know, that's a good thing. That means that person had a positive impact on your life, and I can honestly say that Kobe's had a positive impact on my life. Mamba forever. So always miss Kobe, and we just think positively, and memory is a blessing.
Well said, man.
Absolutely well said indeed. Once again, it is the Lakers winning 118-108. I guess we're talking still back and forth about possible trade scenarios for the Lakers, which will continue. But again, the focus is on the road trip, and the Lakers have started the road trip 1-0, getting closer to Robert's prediction of 5-1. Let's find out. Well, hopefully that's the case, but it also continues on Tuesday as the Lakers will head to Charlotte. So we'll find out
If
what's
we
going
go
on.
5-1, Joe will eat a sponge on air.
I told was it Kurt? I think it was Kurt. If they go 6-0, I'll eat the olives.
You eat a sponge and you'll like it.
Why would I eat a sponge?
You guys. I like it. Hey,
I don't do that shit. Oh, eat a bug if you've
that's on the
clear-
record.
if you clear this bridge.
Now I'm getting the olives ready, man.
You can
I'm gonna
go
send you
cram it
some
with
straight from
walnuts,
Spain.
ugly.
Look, when you insult me, my powers grow. You do know that, right?
The only thing that grows is that bulbous head of yours.
Hold on, look at it. That's a funny one. Hold on.
All right.
Favorite-
That,
Get it, Gerald. Get us back.
yes. All right.
Oh,
Well, on
man.
that note,
What a
it is
night.
of course the Lakers fast break. Yes, great night indeed. 118-108.
What a great night. It's a Saturday. It's a beautiful night. Lakers winning. Everybody talking smack. People asking me to apologize. This is what you can. This is my apology. I don't apologize for no one. No one.
He doesn't even apologize to me.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle it.
You gotta go.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck. Listen, learn, live it. There's only two people on this planet that can insult me and not die. One of them is on my left, and the other one's down there. That's it. That's all I got. Sorry, guys. Mark doesn't insult me because Mark's a nice guy. He tries to be tough, but
It doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't work. You can't be tough. You can't be tough when you respect everybody and you say nice things. Like, this doesn't work.
Hey, he focuses on what he needs to focus on, Joe. Money, the
Ladies.
right gambling odds,
Yeah.
and the ladies. That's
Good.
smart man
That's
right
a
there.
good
That
life.
is a smart
That's a good life.
man. Yes.
That's a
Nah, I
good
can
life.
mix it up. I can mix it up. But you're my boy, Joe. So when you're my boy, yeah, you're always my boy.
And when Johnny's around, Johnny wouldn't insult me either. So I'm not trying to leave John Costa out. John's
Nah.
John wants to roll with the crew, however they roll. So I
He's
try
waiting.
to.
He's waiting for Black, or he's waiting for someone to go off on.
Yeah, that was the first
Yeah,
time
yeah.
I saw him. He turned the volume up a little bit there. That was kind of cool.
He's done that. He's done that a couple times in the past couple weeks.
Yeah,
He's
Black
done
and
that,
Dwight.
yeah.
He lined
When
them up.
there was like 2 or 3 others that he got. Yeah, and it made it at. No, that's good. He's getting feisty.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
getting feisty. Yes.
Well, again,
this
the
show-
feisty stuff, guys. You have to understand, and our crew on the chat room understands, except for the few out there that don't really know us yet. Look, we're not Lakers Nation. We're not you Hovan, Bevon, whatever his name is. We're not. This is not that show. This is like Bill Maher in the '90s when he was doing the politically incorrect show. I wouldn't do a standard show. It's just not something I would do. I just don't want to, and I don't need to. I enjoy the heat. I'm fucked up like that. I don't know. I can't tell you why. Okay. So insults, talking smack. It's just what it is, guys. And it's just, you're going to have to either enjoy it or not. But tonight, I mean, you can't pick a better night to do that kind of stuff. You win, talking with your boys, talking smack, people getting heated. People don't know in the chat what's going on. This is the chaos. This is controlled chaos. This is what it's about. Just more people need to know about it.
Again, and if you're misinterpreting whatever Joe says as far that was in jest, then it is what it is. I've apologized, and if you're not accepting an apology from us as a channel, then there are other Lakers channels. Joe has been the cause for a lot of people leaving the channel as far as viewers, and also been the cause and the reason for a lot of people watching the channel. So it works either way. He walks that fine line, and for some people it does go over. But hey, he also is a big reason why a lot of people you watch. So yeah, that is what it is. So that's why we like him here, because he wouldn't have it any other way. So it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. It is, of course, the Lakers winning 118-108. They are still in 5th place, but they are closer, a game closer in the standings in 5th place in the Western Conference. They are now 2 games behind the Denver Nuggets, who lost tonight, 25-18. 1 game back in the loss column, as Joe would say. Will it get even closer in the next week, starting in Charlotte? We'll find out, but we'll be back tomorrow to honor Kobe and Gigi and be able to bring you our thoughts on that coming up tomorrow. I hope Sean, Xbox, and Zachary, if they want to stop by, they're most welcome. Anybody else, if you want to stop by and share your thoughts, we'll be doing it tomorrow night as we remember, we remember the great Kobe and Gigi Bryant tomorrow right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
Sounds like Australia.
Happy Australia Day, everyone.